Good evening, everybody. We're going to call this meeting to order. It's Monday, May 2nd, 7 p.m., Mayor and Council meeting. We have with us tonight Deacon Michael Garrett with St. Thomas the Apostle Catholic Church at 4300 King Springs Road. I'd like to invite Deacon up now to lead us in the invocation and pledge. Everybody, please rise.
Good evening, everyone. Let us pray. Good and gracious God, we thank you for the privilege of coming together as community, but more importantly, as a universal family. We thank you for every single person gathered here in this room. We ask for your blessing and grace as we conduct the business of our community. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand, and we ask that you would clearly show us how to go about our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work as we make decisions for the betterment of everyone in our community. Help us to work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask that we would challenge each other to reach higher and farther to be the best we can be. And we ask all these things in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns with you in the Holy Spirit, God, forever and ever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And thank you for being with us this evening. Appreciate that. Item 2 is agenda changes. We don't have any. Before we get started with the rest of the agenda, I'd like to invite any candidates who are here to come up and introduce themselves. We've got an election May 24th, and invite you up now to introduce yourself and say a few words about your campaign.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. My name is Melody Bray, and I'm running for Georgia State Senate District 38. Good evening, and thank you for giving me just a brief moment to introduce myself. I'm also a Smyrna resident, and I have seen that there is a lack of collaboration on the part of our current senator and the current council, and that's of no fault of your own. And so I'm here just wanting to give the same commitment that I'm giving to the citizens of Smyrna. My phone will be answered, your emails will be responded to. The door is open because I think that there's a level of collaboration that can happen between state and federal and local governments that can really push Smyrna forward to be not just a place that we're keeping beautiful, but also a place that we're able to have everybody thrive and have a seat at the table. So come May 25th, let's sit down, let's talk, and see what kind of things you need help from the Dome to move Smyrna forward. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for being here. Any other candidates running for office that are here this evening? All right, we'll move on to the mayoral report. Item A is a presentation of the Georgia Law Enforcement Certification Program Award for recertification from State Certification Coordinator Mr. Chuck Groover of the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police to Mr. Keith Sagance, Smyrna Police Department Chief of Police. And I'd invite Mr. Groover up now for this presentation.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everybody. As the mayor said, my name is Chuck Groover. I'm the coordinator for the state certification program for Georgia. It's my honor to be here tonight to recognize the Smyrna Police Department for their recertification. As y'all know, over the past several years, law enforcement's been getting beaten up in the media all around the country. Some of it's, honestly, was our own fault. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But the majority of it's not. And one of the great advantages of this program is to help agencies in Georgia meet certain standards for law enforcement. And our program has 141 standards in it. It covers every aspect of law enforcement, from administration through operations, training, internal affairs, everything. So I think it's important for you as the city leaders to understand how important this is for the department, and not only for the department, for you as city leaders. To have a police department that has met these standards more than once, actually, you should be very proud of them. And if you're asking yourself, why do certification? The analogy I like to use is, would you take your family to a hospital that didn't meet certain standards for health care? And the answer should be no, I wouldn't. Would you go to a college or university, or send your kids to a college or university that didn't meet certain standards for higher education? Again, the answer should be no. We wouldn't do that. And if you take that analogy and apply it to law enforcement, the big difference is, for the first two, they have to meet standards. They have to be accredited or certified. For law enforcement, this is totally voluntary. This is something they choose to do because they want to be the best they can be. Not only for you as city leaders, but also for the community they serve. So it's very important to them. It should be very important to you that they have chosen to do this. This is not something that's easy to do. It takes about 3 years to go through this process. And I can assure you, we don't give it to an agency. They have to earn it. If they don't earn it, they don't get it. And we've had several agencies in the past year that have lost theirs because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. That's not the case here. So the coin that you were just given, on one side it's got the certification logo. On the back side is what I consider the 6 cornerstones of what certification's all about. And if you read those 6 and think about the police department, how important that is, each of those should be critical. Professionalism, operational guidance, transparency. You want your department to be transparent. Positive community support, liability protection. Those are the types of things that you want your law enforcement agency to have and to be. So, as I said, you should be very proud of this department, of what they've accomplished. This is not an easy thing to do. So without any further, without taking any more of your time, Chief, here's your plaque for the next 3 years. It's signed by the governor plus the president. My director, Butch Ayers, who's the executive director of the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police, is signed by Andy Hester, who's the president of the Georgia Sheriff Association, plus the chair of the Joint Review Committee and the current president of the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police. So, Chief, congratulations.
Thank you, Chuck.
Yes, sir. One of the things about certification, it can't be a one-person job. It has to be top to bottom, from the chief all the way down to the newest rookie officer or newest civilian employee. It has to be a department-wide effort for it to be successful. It's one thing for the chief to say, I want us to be certified, and then nobody's involved. It can't work like that. It has to be something everybody buys into. But you have to have one person in the department that actually pulls it all together. One person that makes sure all the documentation's there to prove that you're meeting the standards, prove that your policies are the way they should be. And so each department has to have a certification manager, that one person that kind of pulls it all together for them. And that person is my friend, Andrea Boyce. Andrea?
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank y'all for your time.
Congratulations, y'all. You're right, we are very proud of our police department. They do a great job for us every day. Way to go, Chief. Second item is a proclamation and recognition of a very special young lady, Campbell High School student and soccer player, Emma Joey Martin. And I'm going to handle this one. I am so proud of Joey, and she's been through some very difficult health challenges and is really a symbol of strength in this community. She's been chosen to represent the United States in the Paralympic World Cup later this month, and she was recognized at the Campbell soccer field the other day, and I wanted to recognize her here tonight. So I've got a proclamation, and I'm going to read it. A proclamation by the mayor of the city of Smyrna in recognition of Emma Joey Martin. Whereas Emma Joey Martin is the daughter of Chuck and Jennifer Martin and a student at Campbell High School. And whereas Joey started playing youth soccer in Smyrna when she was 7 years old and played at a high level for years with her friends. And whereas Joey was diagnosed with a brain tumor in 2020 and underwent 68 consecutive weeks of chemotherapy. And whereas the one thing that kept Joey going during her recovery and rehabilitation was her desire to play soccer again. And whereas Joey achieved her dream with the Campbell Spartans JV girls team last year during their undefeated season. And whereas Joey was then contacted by U.S. Paralympic Soccer to attend tryouts for their World Cup team. And whereas after 2 grueling camps, Joey was selected to represent the United States in the Paralympic World Cup May 6 through 17 in Barcelona, Spain. And whereas Joey is a junior in the IB program at Campbell and has balanced her recovery, soccer, and rigorous academics with inspiring determination and a generous smile. Now I, Derek Norton, Mayor of the City of Smyrna, Georgia, do hereby proclaim May 2nd, 2022 as a day of recognition for Emma Joey Martin and encourage all city residents, officials, and staff to congratulate her on her remarkable accomplishments, and I wish her well at the Paralympic World Cup and in all her future endeavors. Joey, we are so proud of you.
Thank you guys so much for all of your support. You know, I have been a citizen of Smyrna my entire life, and I am very proud to say that. I have loved this city and growing up here. I actually started playing soccer for Smyrna Soccer Club, so representing my hometown, and I am just so grateful for all of the support that I have been given as I've gone throughout my journey, especially coming back to play soccer. It has really just been incredible to see just all of this encouragement me and my family have felt. So thank you guys so much.
Can I give you this and get a picture with you? Joey? Mind if I give you this and get a picture with you?
That'd be awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you. Thank
Good
you
luck.
so much. Thank you.
Sam and Jack couldn't be here, but they want to say hello.
Oh,
Okay.
tell them I say hi.
Thank you so much.
All right. Item C, proclamation in recognition of Memorial Poppy Day distribution, May 14th, 21st, 27th, and 30th, 2022. Everybody get your dollars ready. And Mr. Gould, could you please read this proclamation?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate that, and I enjoy the opportunity to be part of this celebration every year. I have a proclamation to read. A proclamation by the mayor of the city of Smyrna in recognition of Memorial Day poppy distribution, May 2022. Whereas America is the land of freedom, preserved and protected willingly and freely by citizens, soldiers, and whereas millions have answered the call to arms, have died in the field of battle, and whereas a nation at peace must be reminded of the price of war and the debt owed to those who have died in war. And whereas the red poppy has been designated as a symbol of sacrifice of lives in all wars, and whereas the American Legion Auxiliary has pledged to remind America annually of this debt through the distribution of memorial flowers. Now, therefore, I, Derek Norton, Mayor of the City of Smyrna, Georgia, do hereby proclaim during the month of May in 2022, the 14th, 21st, 27th, and 30th as Memorial Day Poppy Distribution Days, and ask that all citizens pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by wearing memorial poppy.
Would y'all like to come up? Did I say get your dollars out? I meant get your 20s out.
I apologize. I should have introduced. Let me do this now. Sorry about that. My mistake. Here with us tonight, we have members from the American Legion Auxiliary. Glenn Crutchfield. Thank you. Karen Lindgren, sorry. And Cindy Monk. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and the City Council. We appreciate your time and all that you do to support us. We're all members of the American Legion Smyrna Unit 160, and we do appreciate your donations.
Happy to present this with you.
Okay.
We'll get a little picture if you don't mind.
All right. Let's put you.
All that you do. Got the quite collection of poppies.
Next on our agenda is item D, which is a proclamation in recognition of Professional Municipal Clerks Week, May 1st through 7th, 2022. Dr. Wheaton's going to handle this, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Certainly, it's a great time that we can recognize, the work of the outstanding staff that we have here in this city that work tirelessly for the residents of the community. And certainly that's true for our clerks here with us tonight. Heather Korn, our professional municipal clerk, and also Deputy Clerk Jill Head, here because they have to be. But it's also good to be able to honor them with this proclamation. A proclamation by the Mayor of the City of Smyrna in recognition of the 53rd Annual Professional Municipal City Clerks Week, May 1 through 7, 2022. Whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk is the oldest amongst public servants, and whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels, and whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all, and whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community, and whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, county, and international professional organizations. And whereas it is most appropriate that we now recognize the accomplishments of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk, now, therefore, I, Derek Norton, Mayor of the City of Smyrna, do hereby recognize the week of May 1 through May 7, 2022 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Heather Korn, and to all municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Signed this day, May 2nd, by Derek Norton.
Please do.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Mayor Norton and members of council, for your gracious acknowledgement of the 53rd Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week. Deputy City Clerk Jill Head and I are honored to serve the City of Smyrna's mayor, council, and its citizens. Our mission is to connect the citizens to their government, ensure their trust by supporting the city's legislative process through transparent, accurate, and timely legislative history, preserve the city's historical records, offer support to the election process, and serve citizens and staff with the utmost professionalism, efficiency, and courtesy. Quoting Professor William Bennett Monroe, author of one of the first textbooks written on the topic of municipal administration, Monroe shares, "No other office in municipal service has so many contacts. It serves the mayor, the city council, the city administrator and city manager, and all administrative departments without exception. All of them call upon the city clerk's office almost daily for some service or information." We appreciate it. Thank you.
We appreciate you and all you do. Thank you very much. And lastly, on the mayoral report, we have item E. This is a proclamation in recognition of Ken's Corner Grill, and y'all may have heard the news. It's sad for us and great for Ken and his family, but Ken is retiring, and Ken's will be closing later in less than a week, and they've served this community for 49 years, I believe. And so there's one member of this council in particular that I think might have eaten there every morning for the last, several years, and we're going to have him handle the proclamation. Mr. Corky Welch.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was going to say there is a reason that I get to do this tonight. I sat here a few minutes ago and I calculated, and I'm somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,000 breakfasts at Ken's Corner Grill. That doesn't include sometimes dinner before council meetings and things like that, but it has been a pleasure for the last, in the neighborhood of 15 years, something like that. And hate to see y'all go. With that, I'll read a proclamation by the mayor of the city of Smyrna in recognition for 49 years, Ken's Corner Grill. Whereas Ken's Corner Grill has been a Smyrna landmark for nearly 50 years with a tradition of serving good home-style food at a fair price and a family atmosphere. And whereas in 1973, Ken owned 4 Huddle House franchises when he was asked if he wanted to open an additional franchise in Smyrna. He agreed, and Ken's legacy began at 2934 Atlanta Road. And whereas the restaurant, originally a Huddle House, changed its name in 2005 to Ken's Corner Grill and is truly a family collaboration with Ken's daughter, Vicki Gordon, serving as manager. And whereas Smyrna proudly recognizes significant milestones in the histories of cherished, family-owned and operated small businesses, which help define the face of grateful communities they serve. And whereas Ken's has been a part of many Smyrna residents' lives as they've celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, reunions, or just being a place to see and visit with friends and neighbors. Ken's is fortunate to have had so many great, loyal customers as well as staff, and we are proud they have called Smyrna home for the past 49 years. Now, therefore, I, Derek Norton, Mayor of the City of Smyrna, do hereby proclaim May 2nd, 2022 as a day of recognition for Ken's Corner Grill and encourage all city residents, officials, and staff to congratulate Ken, Vicki, and the entire staff on their many accomplishments and contributions to the community. In witness whereof, I have hereunto signed my hand and caused the seal of the City of Smyrna to be affixed upon this the 2nd day of May in the year of our Lord 2022. Derek Norton.
And I'd invite y'all to come up. I'll say one thing. I've got a 6-year-old girl and a 5-year-old boy, and I take them up to breakfast often. And when I told Sam, she's an emotional little thing, when I told her that Ken's was closing, she cried.
About him. But anyway, we really appreciate the whole community and enjoy living here.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Mr. Mayor.
All right, that concludes all our proclamations. I got a couple other things that I just wanted to report on since the last time we met. We had the Reinvented and Reimagined Mayor's Education Awards, and we literally rolled out the red carpet for our outstanding kids in our community, outstanding volunteer and our outstanding teacher. And we had a banquet over in the community center, and it was a very good night for everybody, and I think all the kids had a great time. It was great to recognize them. We also had our Jonquil Festival. It was a little bit different layout with all the construction going on downtown, but all accounts it was well received, and we had more vendors than we've ever had, more people than we've ever had, and I want to say thank you to the staff and all their hard work for putting that on and everybody who came out. I think it was a very successful event. And then this last weekend we had the Jonquil Jog, which was also very successful. So a lot of work put in by all our staff and all our volunteers, and been a very successful last couple of weeks. With that, that concludes my mayoral report. Item 4 is land issues, zonings, and annexations. We have one. It was tabled from the last meeting, and we're hearing it again. Item A, 2022-149. It's a public hearing, zoning request Z22-004, allow rezoning from R15 to RDA conditional for the development of 2 single-family homes, 0.35 acres, land lot 632 at 2761 Matthew Street, McBev 1 LLC. Mr. Bennett, any background?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The subject property is zoned R15 and is occupied with a single-family home. The applicant plans to demolish the existing structure and build 2 new single-family detached homes on the 2 lots. The Planning and Zoning Board recommended approval by a vote of 6-1 at the March 14th, 2022 meeting. Community Development recommends approval of the rezoning from R15 to RDA conditional with a density of 5.7 units per acre at 2761 Matthew Street.
I know this was tabled last time to get the applicant in with some of the residents, and will you report on where we are?
Yes, sir. At the last meeting, we left off, I think Councilman Lindley wanted the applicant to meet with the adjoining residents and then look at a specific tree issue with respect to a large oak at the front of the property. We met with the gentleman who was up here and spoke in opposition to the zoning, and met with the applicant last Thursday. I think we worked out a stipulation that addresses their issues with prior developments with the lots to the north and connecting to the site. So we're recommending a stipulation that would basically preclude access along that northern property line. So there's not going to be any additional houses connected to this shared driveway. If they develop the properties to the north, they'll have to have their own driveway and have their own access at that point. In addition, we added some additional stipulations related to stormwater management and having the engineer review the plans, because the gentleman that came up and spoke last week wanted a drain across the driveway. So we included a stipulation that the city engineer will review that. If it's warranted, we'll require it. If it's not, we won't require it. And that's about it. Let me see if I can get to those stipulations real quick for you. And then, oh. In that tree issue, if you look on the site plan, the tree is up at the top of the property. It's a 42-inch oak tree. The front of those porches, the sidewalk, and the road improvements all go through where the trunk's located, as well as within the structural root plate of that tree. And also there's overhead power lines along that road frontage. So that tree has been pruned in the canopy, and it is leaning back over the property, over the existing house. All the stuff to correct that, those issues would require, extensive damage to that tree. So it's not going to be able to be saved. If you push the houses and the driveway back, then you start impacting all the trees at the rear of the property. And that's another 60 inches of tree to save 40 inches on the front. So I don't know that you necessarily gain anything at that point. It is a specimen tree. They will recompense it. So at 42 inches, they're going to be planting 11 trees back on site or paying $140 an inch, based off of whatever they can't plant. So let me get to the last two stipulations for you here, and then we'll go from there. We added stipulation number 25, which says the developer shall provide a 5-foot no access easement along the northern property boundary of the subject property from the rear property line to the Matthews Street right-of-way. The access easement shall preclude any future driveway connections to the development. And number 26, no stormwater runoff discharges to be allowed to enter the existing Williams Park's stormwater BMPs. A trench drain shall be installed across the driveway extension on the subject property parcel to prevent driveway runoff from encroaching onto the existing Village at Williams Park's driveway, if deemed necessary by the city engineer during plan review. And I think that addresses most of the concerns of the neighborhood. If you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any questions, Rusty? Okay. Does the applicant have anything you'd like to add? Is he want to?
I do. My name is Jim Beveridge. I represent McBev One, doing business as McKinney Builders. About 5 years ago, there was about 7 or so, I'll call them dilapidated, barely habitable, if they were habitable houses. We have since built 17 houses where those were. And I think that the street, an average sales price was $500,000 on those homes. I think the street has greatly improved since we've been there. Since there were so many awards recognized, I would like to mention that in October of every year, the Greater Atlanta Home Builders Association awards builders for various projects, and the Village at Williams Park in the city of Smyrna was recognized. This community was recognized as the best development revitalization in Metro Atlanta under 500,000. So we're proud of that, and we're proud of that for the city. This will be the final 2 units in this community, and I'm reserving the rest of my time for any questions you might have. Thank you.
Any questions of the applicant? Mr.
One
Gould.
quick question. First, thank you for your work and your role in improving Williams Park. Were you able to work? I understand you're able to work out an agreement with the HOA. Could you describe that a little bit, please?
Well,
or I'm sorry, with the
residents. Yes,
the residents. I'm sorry.
I contacted the 3 of the 5 original residents in phase 1. 2 of them have changed hands, and by the way, one of them just changed hands, so I don't know the new person. But that house sits right next to this proposed 2 lots, and it sold for $677,000. So that shows you just how the area is improving. and homes are increasing in general. But yes, I've contacted all the original residents, and I guess I guess they're in favor.
Any other questions? Thank you. Now, this is a public hearing. I'd invite anybody who'd like to speak for or against this item to come up to be sworn in now. If you'll state your name and address for the record.
Hi, everyone. My name's Kevin Sarja, and I actually, Jim, bought the home at 2777 about 2 years ago. So I'm probably the, I know we just sold the other one, but one of the newer residents. I used to live in Vinings and moved to the Smyrna area recently.
That's what happens now. Everybody wants to move to Smyrna from Vinings.
My wife and I have greatly enjoyed our time. We've met Travis at multiple times. We got breakfast actually over at Ken's, and I've loved this community and our 5 neighbors that have come along with it. We have 4 small children who live and play in the back. So I don't know if any of you all have ever kind of passed through Matthew Street, but one of the things that we've enjoyed about having that private shared driveway in the back is that is just that actually, is that it's private. We've got a little bit of space for children as well as us to kind of hang out in the back. One of the key things as we were kind of looking through, and Jim, I appreciate you kind of listening to the neighbors and making some changes into the recommendations that you're not going to connect all the way through, but that was probably our biggest concern. We've installed multiple speedways as well as stop signs to deter people from zooming down on Matthew Street. And one of our biggest concerns was as we were connecting more and more homes to hopefully, maybe even connect it all the way down to the other street, is that we never wanted people to use that as a pass-through to avoid cops hiding at the kind of, in the corner there, or to kind of just speed through if people were taking their time at the stop signs. It's incredibly encouraging for you all to kind of listen to a lot of our concerns, especially with the storm drain as well. We've really enjoyed our time, and all 5 of us are a small community, and we open our kind of community to even the townhomes that are over there, even though we're not connected, and we want to be able to continue to share that, but we definitely wanted to be mindful about, the cars that pass through. There are folks who live, a bunch of folks now who live on that street, and we wanted to make sure that, it's safe for not just our community, but everyone there. So thank you all for the time. I've really appreciated, all your welcoming hands and my wife and I moving to the Smyrna area. We're here to stay, and we're here to help them however we can. So thank you, Jim, for listening to us. We hope that you continue to kind of take our feedback, especially as you build those homes. We're here to kind of help in every way we can. So thank you.
Thank you. With that, we'll close our public hearing. This is in Ward 3. Turn it over to Councilmember Lindley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Beveridge, for engaging with the residents over the last couple of weeks. As always, thanks to Rusty and Joey for their leadership. And thank you, Kevin. Good to see you. I think the city takes very seriously, certainly in Williams Park over the last couple of years, the monumental effort to calm traffic. So I think we've made some headway over there and continue to sort of monitor activity on Matthew Street. Relative to tonight's zoning request, I'm beyond satisfied. I think the 2 parties have come together, come up with a good compromise that sort of checks a number of boxes there. And with that, motion do pass as presented.
Have a motion do pass. Seconded by Dr. Wheaton. All those in favor, please vote. And that's approved 6-0. Thank you. Item 5 is privilege licenses. We have none. Item 6 is formal business. We have 3 items. Item A, 2022-230, Approval of an amendment to the adopted fiscal year 2022 department-level budgets to use general fund reserves to fund the FY 2022 impact of the previously adopted new pay grade bands and pay adjustments in the amount of $317,258. Mr. Bennett, the background, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The city adopted new pay bands and pay adjustments at the April 18th, 2022 meeting. The amount presented was the estimated annual impact for fiscal year 2023 of these raises, and that amount will be approved in coordination with the adopted fiscal year 2023 budget. The city needs to amend the departmental budgets to increase them for the impact of these raises April 4th, 2022 through the end of the fiscal year. This was an unbudgeted item and will require the use of reserves. Approval and amendment to the adopted fiscal year 2022 department level budgets to use general fund reserves to fund the fiscal year 2022 impact of the previously adopted new pay grade bands and pay adjustments in the amount of $317,258.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. I'll turn this over to our budget chairman, Mr. Travis Lindley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thanks to Kristen. I thought I saw her here. She may have escaped. A lot of good work, and to Karen, as we work hard to keep our city workforce intact moving forward. So motion do pass.
I have a motion do pass. It's seconded by Mr. Pickens. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please vote. And that's approved 6-0. Item B, 2022-235, action on change order request from Baldwin Paving regarding the Windy Hill Road project. Mr. Bennett, any background?
Yes, sir. Baldwin has requested a change order for additional time and compensation for the Windy Hill Road project. Staff does not recommend this change order.
This is in Ward 3 and Ward 5. I'll turn it over to Mr. Lindley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to motion to deny.
Have a motion to deny. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Wilkinson. All those in favor of the motion to deny this change order request will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. Please vote. And that's approved 6-0. That change order is denied. Item C, 2022-244, authorization to allow Croy Engineering at 200 Cobb Parkway North, Building 400, Suite 413, Marietta, Georgia, to manage the day-to-day construction and inspection for the Windy Hill Boulevard project for a period of 1 calendar year to begin May 2022 and expire April 2023 in the amount not to exceed $422,920 to be funded from SPLOST 2016, which will cover the cost of a senior professional 2 and a construction manager for that 1-year time frame, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. Mr. Bennett, the background, please.
Yes, sir. The Windy Hill Boulevard project has required additional time and resources, especially the last 2 years. And city staff is no longer able to provide the dedicated time and effort the project needs for proper management and inspection. Therefore, the city would like to enter into a 1-year contract with Croy Engineering to allow them to manage the day-to-day construction and inspection for this project at a cost not to exceed $422,920, and to be paid for from SPLOST 2016, and to cover the cost of a senior professional 2 and a construction administrator. Public Works staff and the city engineer recommend Croy.
Any discussion? This is in Ward 3 and 5. Councilmember Lindley.
Motion do pass as presented.
Have a motion do pass, seconded by Ms. Wilkinson. All those in favor, please vote. And that's approved 6-0. Item 7 is commercial building permits. We don't have any. Item 8 is the consent agenda. Mr. Bennett, can you please read the consent agenda for council approval?
Yes, sir. Item A, MIN 2022-27, approval of the April 14th, 2022 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Item B, MIN 2022-28, approval of the April 18th, 2022 pre-council meeting minutes. Item C, MIN 2022-29, approval of the April 18th, 2022 mayor and council meeting minutes. Item D, 2022-234, award RFP 22-029 for fireworks display to Atlanta Pyrotechnics, P.O. Box 4443, Marietta, Georgia 30061, in the amount of $20,000 for the fireworks display at the annual City of Smyrna birthday celebration, with renewal option as specified by bid request, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. Item E, AGR 2022-11, approval of agreement AGR 2022-11, contract ID number 2504637 with AT&T Corporation, 1 AT&T Way, Bedminster, New Jersey, 07921, for the dedicated internet service agreement, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. Item F, AGR 2022-12, approval of the proposal for professional survey services with Croy Engineering, 200 Cobb Parkway North, Building 400, Suite 413, Marietta, Georgia 30062, for Pat Mel sidewalk improvements for the area between Atlanta Road and Gober Avenue in the amount of $13,650, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. Item G, AGR 2022-13, approval of the proposal for traffic engineering services for a signal warrant analysis for Atlanta Road at Milford Trail, Vinings Forest Circle, with Croy Engineering, 200 Cobb Parkway North, Building 400, Suite 413, Marietta, Georgia 30062, for the intersection to be analyzed for a traffic signal in the amount of $3,160, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. Finally, item H, AGR 2022-14, approval of the proposal for traffic engineering services for left turn phasing warrant analysis for Spring Road at Jonquil Drive with Croy Engineering, 200 Cobb Parkway North, Building 400, Suite 413, Marietta, Georgia 30062, for the intersection to be analyzed for left turn phasing to the current traffic signal in the amount of $3,160, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? So moved by Mr. Lindley. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Pickens. All those in favor, please vote. And that's approved 6-0. Item 9 is ward and committee reports. We'll start tonight with Mr. Glenn Pickens.
No report this evening.
Mr. Lindley.
No report.
Mr. Welch. No report. Ms. Wilkinson.
No report. Thank you.
Mr. Gould.
Oh, I just want to thank Mr. Mayor for the Mayor's Education Awards last week or so. It was just really an outstanding event. Big thanks to staff for organizing it, yeah, I think people enjoyed themselves, and it was a great way to recognize teachers, volunteers, business partners, and students. I'd like to thank the Education Committee for their role in helping select the award winners, also for the volunteers, teachers, and the business
we
partners.
had Mark Owens from a local guy, the voice of the Braves in game, there to make it a little more exciting for him. So that was good. Thank you, Mr. Gould. Dr. Wheaton.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few quick things here. One, on a very sad note, I mentioned in the last meeting the illness of Janelle Higgins, but she passed away last week, unfortunately. She was a really powerful member of the community. She was a part of the Vinings Estates HOA board with the events chair there. She was in Nickajack Foundation. She volunteered at Griffin Middle. I mean, just a lot of involvement and engagement in the community. So very sad to see her go, and certainly, Vinings Estates, Ward 7, and a lot of people throughout the city are mourning her loss. One of the things I know that she would have loved, just because I know her heart when it comes to educating the kids, and particularly with STEM and education. This Saturday, we are having our exciting Science Day, collaboration with Georgia Tech Research Institute, which is a really awesome division of Georgia Tech that does a lot of really amazing, mostly top secret work for the federal government. They're going to be down doing some displays. It's going to be at our new park down by the river, Riverview Park, right beside Riverview Landing there. Come on down this Saturday from 10 to 2. If you're interested in understanding more about vacuums, vacuum technology, microscopes, telescopes, physics, basic chemistry, fossils, we'll be even freezing some stuff with liquid nitrogen, some rockets out in the field there. It's going to be an awesome time. And there's even going to be a competition with some middle school students that I'm looking forward to, ways to dispense hand sanitizer in 7 steps. So it'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to judging that competition. So come on out for that down at Riverview Park. And last but certainly not least, I want to give a shout out to a special member of the audience here. My mother is here this evening. She came down for our son's graduation coming up at the end of the month. And for some reason, she wanted to come to a council meeting on a Monday night.
Trying to catch up on her sleep.
I'm telling you.
Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Good to see you. Mr. Bennett.
Yes, sir. To echo the proclamation that was read for City Clerks Week, I would like to thank on behalf of the staff, both Ms. Korn and Ms. Head for their work they do every day in support of the elected officials and staff. So thank you both.
Mr. Cochran. Ms. Penny. Ms. Heather.
I do. Just a quick reminder regarding advance voting that opened today. It will run through the 20th of May with a couple Saturdays as well, May 7th and 14th, that are available for advance voting. Here in the Smyrna area, you can vote at the CCSD Brown Professional Learning Center. That's located at 3265 Brown Road, Southeast. There are 9 other locations, and we printed a copy of all the locations for you to take with you this evening. They're on the podium near the back door, and as well as on our website and the Cobb County Election website for your review.
Thank you, Ms. Heather. Jill, you got anything? Okay. I just had one more thing I forgot to mention in my mayoral report. Our Campbell Spartan baseball team, varsity baseball team, won the first round of the state playoffs at Brookwood. And tomorrow, we're going to be hosting the second round of the state playoffs at Latanzi Field, starting at 4:30. It'll be a doubleheader, so I hope you all come out and support the baseball team. Item 10 is show cause hearings. We have none. Item 11 is citizen input. We have a citizen signed up, Alex Backery.
I often wonder, in the last 20 years plus, how many people on the council during that time have ever attended a seminar where communications was on the agenda. I have. Let's take Windy Hill. You started with 42 million. When I tell people that 42 million, they're shocked. The people have a right to know how their money's being spent. There was no referendum, no city town hall meeting, and now it's gone higher, and people, again, have that right, and it was denied. I just see it as pure socialism that was totally denied to the taxpayers of Smyrna. Secondly, let's take the downtown program. I have the draft of 19 projects, not just the brewery and the parking garage. By the way, the parking garage is probably only going to be used by the homeless. But there are 17 other projects that have not been discussed, and you, Mayor, last June 8th made the announcement to vote on it the 21st of June. The money wouldn't be coming in till March 1st of this year. I don't understand, again, the rush. I suggested this draft sheet with the 19 projects should have been mailed out in the utility bill. Have the people, that goes to 15,000 plus homes. Have them look at all 19. Then you put another flyer in the utility bill announcing a city town hall meeting with signs out and really promoting it correctly. Now the people can come and speak on any questions on the 19, not just the couple downtown. I've talked to a lot of people. They have no clue on these other projects like the bridge at 41, the environment. And I just see when you had 2 meetings over at the community center, it was only on Facebook. Many people don't have Facebook. And you had one at Bronner. You all were not there. It was just Croy. And I asked them, and they said, we don't know anything about it outside downtown. Ask your council person. Unacceptable. And the council people here, some of you have only had 1 ward meeting in the last 2.5 years. You should be having them every 6 or 7 months. The apathy in voting in the city is due to lack of knowledge. But we should go over these 19 projects. You can't ask questions if you don't know anything about the subject.
Mr. Backer, your time is up.
And I just want to make sure that you improve on this last 1.5 years. Croy Engineering, you've given them $1.3 million in the last year. Where is the open government?
Mr.
We
Backer,
have
you're
people
gonna
in
need
the
to-
city that can do those meetings.
Mr. Backer,
Instead of paying
you need to
Croy,
Mr. Backer, you need to wrap up. Your time is
Yeah.
up. Thank you.
Paying Croy extra money. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for participating. No other business to be brought before this body. We are adjourned.